Hello, this is Jay Black with the Winter Springs Dental Lab. In this webinar, I'm excited to talk to you about the new inLab software 18. Dentsply did a really great job on this software. They put in a lot of things we've been asking for a long time, and I'm very excited about it. So first of all, you can see our administration has a new layout. It's a lot more efficient. Here we can do everything from this particular screen. We can indicate we're doing a restoration, a model. We have a new model software that we're going to go over, Michigan Splint and Tray, Sarah Guide, and we can send to Atlantis as well. Right here, let's say we're doing a crown number 3. Right here on the page, we'll just let it know what mill we're going to send it to instead of opening up a new screen. Choose your manufacturer, material, processing mode, and you can go ahead and let it know if you're going to use the extra fine burrs or not right here on this page. Also, if you want, you can designate that you're going to want to build a model as well. So just click on model. We're going to do an upper and lower. And we can go ahead and arrow forward to our model phase. Go ahead and draw your margin. Get everything set up. Once we get to this step, create model, it says, would you like to start up the inLab model 18 now? Go ahead and hit start. Alright, this brings our model into the inLab model software. First step we're going to want to do is clean our model. I suggest in the inLab software, go ahead and do any editing of your model that you want, including drawing your margins. So go ahead and do that in the inLab software before you bring it here. However, you still can clean up this model a little bit. Just double click to start, click, click, double click to end. And you can do that on any areas that you want to clean up. Alright, that looks good. Hit apply. Alright, now that we have a model on our base, we can go forward. We can always change how high or how wide we want our model by adjusting this bar right here. We asked for a model height of 2.78 millimeters. You can make it taller or shorter, and you can expand the base out as well by sliding on these bars and just hitting apply again. It'll calculate it from your orange line that you have right here. Alright, we'll arrow forward. Alright, our next step is create dies and create analogs. If we have an implant on our case that we clicked on the scan body head in the inLab software, it'll activate our analog. Okay, we'll create dies first. Alright, so we have our molar here that we drew the margin in the inLab software, so it carries on into the model software. We can draw the margin in the model software as well, but I recommend doing it in the inLab software. We have a few choices here. If we uncheck create dies, what we will get is a solid model with a ditched margin. So you can say 0.96 millimeters ditched margin, so underneath the margin it'll ditch it out and you'll have a nice solid model with a ditched prep. Alright, if we choose create dies, then we're going to tell the software we want to make a Geller model, and we have different options. You have spacer. I usually use 0.03, but every printer may be slightly different, but you can adjust your spacer right here. What that means is it's going to cut out this die if we have that checked. Create floor crater means underneath our model it's going to put a little area where we can push out our die. Create control window is going to put a window in the side of our model so that we can double check that our die is down all the way in our model. And create ditch is, again, like we said, it'll ditch beneath our margin that we have drawn depending how much we want it to ditch. Alright, so we'll go ahead and keep our values as we have them here and hit apply. Alright, now you see we have a separate die. Here is our control window. You can see right here, you'll be able to tell if the die is down. And here is our floor crater. I turn off the model, you can see what the die will look like. Alright, next step is create analog. And we'll create all analogs. We're only going to do this one right here for this particular case. Alright, our analog was created. This is going to fit a NT Trading DIM analog. Alright, next step, you can see that right there. So pretty much it goes into the top, and there'll be a little bolt that ties it on in the back. Next step is create gingiva mask. Alright, so we'll go ahead and draw where we want our gingiva mask to be. We'll click here, then double click to start. Alright, so now we have our gingiva mask. We'll go ahead and arrow forward. Next we have add supports. Alright, we have add connectors and add bar. First we're going to start with add connectors. We have a support brace. It's like a stop that you can put on there. So you can put them wherever you want. You just double click to add them. Then once you add it, you can always move it, rotate it, put it wherever you want. Put as many or as few as you want on there. Alright. Next we have add bar. So I'll go ahead and add a bar on here. Double click to start, go across, double click to end. So now we have a bar. Once we put our bar on the back, now we can go back to add connectors and choose whatever type of articulator we want. We have the dense splicer on a ball joint. We have the bar connector, the itero connector, or the 3-shape connector. For this one we use the dense ply ball joint. Go ahead and put it on there like so. Also with this bar you can make it wider or higher if you want by sliding these arrows. We'll move forward. Alright, once our model is finalized, we have a few more options. We have the tools that are available. We have the form tool, add, smooth, or remove if we want to add or do anything to our model. Then we have carve out model. So we'll click apply. You can tell it how much you want the thickness to be. Alright. We also have to add a text or label. So we'll go ahead and label our case. You can put it wherever you want. Pretty cool. I love it. Alright, lastly, we export to STL. If we uncheck this box, we can send them all separately. So we'll export to STL, and we'll have an STL for our upper jaw, lower jaw, our stump, and our gingiva mask. So now that we have our model completed, we can go back to our case. All right, go ahead and go to the export phase. Okay, we have our screw retained crown here, and we have our Celtra. We can no longer mill directly from the CAD software anymore. We have to export it to CAM, but it's not really a big deal, because as long as you click this Start Job button and let it know which computer your CAM is on, we can go ahead and export it, and it will open up into our CAM ready to go in the block. Also, here you can export to folder or export to STL. We also have some new features when we're setting up a bridge. We don't have to go over here and let it know it's a bridge. Just go ahead and call it a crown. So this is a bridge 2 to 7. 2, 4, 6, and 7 are the abutments. Then we'll go back to the left, click on Ponics, choose our Ponics. Then these connectors in between let it know that it's a bridge or not. So this right here would signify that this is not a bridge. This would be a separate unit. If I click it, now I have an anatomical connector. If I click it again, now I have an intersecting connector. And I click it again, that would mean it's a separate crown. So it's very easy to change your connectors or to make it a separate crown. Alright, so now that we have it set as a bridge with anatomic connectors, we'll go ahead and choose the machine we want to mill it from and the material. Go ahead and go up to Design. Alright, now that we have our design, we have a new field right here. It says Edit Element, Edit Connector, and Finalize. First thing we'll do is Edit Element, which means we're going to go ahead and adjust our bridge wherever we want using our tools. Once we're happy with everything here, we can click on Edit Connector. Now we have a separate field here where we can just concentrate on our connectors, and we have our normal connector tools as always. The last step will be Finalize. Here in the Finalize step, we'll be able to work on this entire bridge as a whole using our either form tools or shape tools. It's very nice to be able to make some last minute adjustments wherever we want as a whole. Let's say, we decided, hey, we don't want a bridge. We want this number 7 to be separate. Not a big deal. Go back to administration. And then change it right here from anatomic to no connector at all, which made 7 a single now. So now we can go back up to design. And now you'll see that number 7 is a single. So it's no longer a part of the bridge. The software doesn't recalculate anything. It just changes it to a single. A very cool feature. Again, if we want to, let's say, reduce this entire bridge, we'll do it in the Edit Element step. You can select all of them, right-click, click Reduce, let it know how much you want it to reduce by. You can let it know you want it to pin it to the gingiva or not for the Ponics. Click Apply. Have your reduction. Go to the Edit Connector step. If you want to adjust any connectors, you can do it right here. Let's say we want to scale this one up a little bit. Go to our Finalize step. And we're good to go. We now also have some extra attachments available. If you right click and pull up attachments and add, you'll have a list of different attachments. We have Breeden and Cytec, and then for each manufacturer we have the different sizes and shapes. So let's go ahead and take this one right here, position it on our crown, double click. Once you have it on, You can go ahead and adjust the position by moving and rotating to wherever you want, or to scale it in and out. So very cool. Now we can go ahead and go to the finalize step. Arrow forward to the export. So from this step right here, we can also send it to another lab if we wish. So we'll go to send to lab. This is going to send via the Connect portal. We will log in. It's going to go ahead and upload right here in the background while we enter our digital prescription. So we'll just put male or female. You can anonymize the name if you wish. We'll send this to my friend Frankie. We can add additional instructions. Put a return date. Add additional files here. And add to cart. Okay, once we add to cart, it'll let us know right here what case we're sending, and then we need to click Submit Cart and Commission. Now the case has been commissioned and sent off to Frankie. The next case I want to go over is, let's say we want to do a splint or a custom lower impression tray or something like that. We have our scan here and we go to Administration. Go ahead and choose Michigan Splint and Tray. Click on our lower jaw. Head to the model phase. Set our model axis. And create Michigan Splint. It's going to ask you if you want to open up the Splint software. Alright, so first thing we'll do is we'll create Michigan Splint, and then we'll do an impression tray. So we'll select our active jaw, it's our lower, set model axis, prepare our model. If you want, you can add anything you want or smooth anything out or whatever you want to do there. Define our insertion axis. This will show everywhere where there's undercuts, and you can go ahead and adjust it if you wish. Check blockout. Now it's going to show any areas that are blocked out. Alright, and you can also add any extra blockout if you wish. Arrow forward. Alright, next we create Michigan Splint by plane or by line, depending on how your insertion axis is, or your model axis that is. Now we can create our Michigan Splint. We can create it by plane or by line. If you create it by line, then you'll just actually draw where you want it to go. Now we can edit it. Alright, arrow forward. Alright, then we have some more tools available to us as well. And we can also put a label on it. Then we'll go ahead and export right here. Also in the Splint software we have another option available. We'll select design type, and this time we will choose create impression tray for our lower jaw. We'll go through the steps again. Create impression tray, and the same thing, create it by line or by plane. This time we'll create it by plane to show the difference. You can choose the thickness and the lift right here. Alright, now we can go ahead and edit the base of our tray. Alright, we can add a handle. Let's say this case had implants that we were going to do. We could go ahead and put in implant channels. Arrow forward. Alright, next you can use your form, add, smooth, or remove to do anything you want here. You can add holes. Click apply. That'll add many holes. Or if you just want to add a single hole, you can make it bigger, smaller, for whatever you want it for. And you can add a label. Make it a little bit bigger. So you can see it's very easy to create a splint or impression tray with the new Splint software. The next new feature I want to go over in the inLab 18 software is a new design technique called multi-layer gingiva. Let's say we want to have our bottom layer be PMMA, pectin, trilor, something like that, and our top layer can be whatever we want. PMMA, Emax, Celtra. You just let it know what you want your framework of veneering structure to be right here. Then we have something called define multi-layer. If we click on that, we can choose, do we want all these to be single units, the whole thing to be a bridge. We can choose however we like. For this one, we're going to go ahead and keep it as a bridge. So we'll go forward and design our case. Click on Edit Element. In this stage right here, we can go ahead and adjust our veneering structure and framework structure using our tools. We can adjust our top bridge, or we can adjust our gingiva. Once we're happy with our design, we can click on Edit Multi-Layer. The software is now going to break it into a top and bottom layer for you. Alright, now we can adjust our bottom layer if we want. So if we click on number 8, we can bring up new tools to adjust our prep, and then it will recalculate the inside of our crown. Next step is finalize. Here we can finalize our top bridge layer. Head to the export phase. Now we have our top layer bridge. And our bottom layer. We can send them both to CAM, export to folder, or export to STL. But let's say instead of wanting a bridge on this particular case, we wanted to break it down into singles. Just head back to the administration. Choose Define Multi-Layer again. We're going to choose all of our elements. And unsplit them. So now you can see it put a line through each of the connectors. So now they are all singles. We'll click apply. Go back to the design phase. Go to our edit element step. Keep going through the process. Now we have our bottom layer. And then now our top layer will all be single units. So very easy to change between a bridge on top or single units. Great new feature. Next I want to go over one of my favorite design modes. It's called one-to-one copy. So let's say you have a roundhouse or a bridge or something that the doctor wants to copy exactly, or let's say you did you're doing an all-on-6 and you have the try-in perfect, the bite perfect, and the doctor just wants to copy it exactly. So now we have a new phase, one-to-one copy, where we can do that. Just click one-to-one copy. Here in this step, I'll show you what models we have. We have our lower jaw scanned in, our upper jaw, gingiva mask. This is our copy upper that we want to copy exactly. And in this case, we're doing a screw retained bridge, so we have our scan body catalog as well. We'll go through all the steps. Then you'll get to your design phase. All you have to do is click Edit Element. We'll wait for our proposal. And boom, we have our proposal. An exact copy of what we scanned in. Love it. At this step, we also can use our tools. We have our form tools, shape tools, and screw channel tools if you want to add any more screw channels. Arrow forward. Case is done. I'm very excited about this new software release. Thank you, Dentsply Sirona, for giving me this opportunity to go over the new inLab Software 18. Thank you very much.